Do you hear it? 3 days, not 3 weeks, not 3 months, not sometime in the distant future. 3 days, a moment that the world cannot anticipate, but that God has set in His divine plan. The question is not whether it will happen, but whether you are ready to see it, to understand it, and to stand firm when it unfolds. We live in a time when the earth trembles beneath the weight of chaos. Nations rise and fall, economies shake, conflicts flare, and the hearts of men grow cold. And yet, in the midst of this, God is speaking. He is not silent. He is calling His people to awareness, to discernment, to readiness. For in these 3 days, something monumental will break forth, a shift, a warning, a sign that cannot be ignored. Some will mock, some will doubt, some will continue in their ways, thinking the world remains as it always has been. But the Word of God is sure, and His timing is perfect. What is coming in these 3 days is a divine declaration. It is a shaking of the foundations, a revealing of truth, a moment that will separate those who are prepared from those who are not. Do not be deceived into thinking this is mere coincidence or a passing event. The God of heaven does not speak lightly. Every warning, every sign, every prophetic word carries His authority. And today He has spoken a word that will echo in the lives of many. Prepare yourself, for in 3 days the hand of God will move. Look closely and you will see His fingerprints. Look with faith and you will recognize His purposes. And those who listen, those who heed the warning, will find refuge and guidance, even in the midst of upheaval. Those who ignore it, who harden their hearts, will face the consequences of a world shaken and revealed. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Not to discourage, but to stir you into action. For the God who spoke these words is a God of mercy, a God of revelation, a God who still calls His children to righteousness, even in the last hour. 3 days. Mark them. Watch. Pray. Seek His face, for what is about to unfold is not random. It is the fulfillment of a plan, the movement of a hand unseen, the work of a God who is still sovereign over the earth and over your life. He has spoken, He has warned, and in 3 days the world will see what He has declared. Will you be ready? Will you heed the word? The time is now. The hour is near. God has spoken. This will happen in 3 days. Prepare, for the days ahead will reveal His glory and His judgment. God has spoken a warning, and His words are urgent, piercing the darkness of this age with the light of revelation. This will happen in 3 days, He declares, and the moment of warning is upon us. There is no ambiguity in His message. 3 days, count them, mark them, watch them. The hand of God moves not according to the whims of men, nor according to human schedules, but in perfect timing, and He has chosen these 3 days to awaken the hearts of His people. The question is not if, but whether we are ready to hear, ready to obey, ready to stand firm in faith when His plan unfolds. For the voice of God is not a whisper of convenience. It is a thunder that shakes the very foundations of the earth, calling His children to awaken from slumber and rise in vigilance. In these times, the world is full of distractions, full of the clamor of voices that pull men and women away from the truth. People walk as if all is well, blind to the signs that God has placed in history, blind to the shaking of nations, blind to the warnings that He continually releases. Yet God speaks clearly, with precision and with authority, declaring a moment that will not be missed. This is a call to wakefulness, to awareness, to spiritual discernment. The 3 days are not merely a countdown. They are a summons to prepare, to position oneself in faith, and to recognize that the God of heaven is still sovereign over the affairs of men. He is still active, still moving, still revealing the hidden mysteries of His plan. And those who are alert, those who listen with their hearts, will see the fulfillment of His word and find refuge in His presence. The urgency of this warning cannot be overstated. It is a call to stop, to turn, and to seek the face of God. For in 3 days, what has been hidden will be revealed, what has been dormant will awaken, and what has been uncertain will become clear. There will be signs, there will be shifts, and there will be moments that will test the faith of all who live upon the earth. But the Lord is not speaking to instill fear for its own sake. He is speaking to awaken faith, to draw hearts to Himself, to prepare His people for the unfolding of His plan. The 3-day warning is a divine invitation to step into alignment with the purposes of God, to move in obedience, and to recognize that His timing is flawless and His ways are perfect. Do not be deceived into thinking that this is a coincidence or that the days will pass without consequence. God does not speak lightly. Every word carries weight. Every declaration carries authority. The 3 days are a window, a moment in which the heavens intersect with the earth, a time when God's power and glory will be revealed. And in this time, those who are ready will witness the fulfillment of His word, while those who are unprepared may stumble, caught unaware by the sudden movement of the hand of God. The call then is to readiness, to prayer, to vigilance, to living in the awareness of His presence, so that when the 3 days come to their appointed end, you will stand steadfast, clothed in faith and protected by the providence of God. Heed the warning, watch the days, pray without ceasing, and seek the Lord with all your heart. For in 3 days what God has declared will manifest. His voice has gone out across the heavens, and the time to respond is now. God has spoken, and those who listen will find that His word is true, His timing is perfect, and His mercy extends to all who turn to Him. Do not delay. The 3 days are upon us, and the hand of God is moving. The world is moving at a dizzying pace, and yet most walk in a kind of spiritual slumber, blind to the signs that God has placed before them. The storms rage, the nations tremble, the foundations of society shake, and men's hearts grow cold, and still many remain unaware, thinking all is as it always has been. But God is calling His people to wake up, to open their eyes, to perceive the times, and to recognize the hand of the Almighty moving in the earth. This is not the time for ignorance or indifference. This is a time for discernment, for attentiveness, and for spiritual alertness. For God is speaking, and His message is urgent. This will happen in 3 days. It is a call to awareness, a divine summons to lift the veil from your eyes and see the truth of the world as it really is. The call to awareness is not simply about knowing what is coming. It is about understanding the signs, discerning the patterns, and recognizing the spiritual forces at work behind the events of history. God is revealing that there is more than meets the eye, that the shaking of nations, the turmoil of economies, and the upheaval in the hearts of men are not random, but part of a divine plan. Those who walk without awareness will stumble, unprepared for what is to come. But those who watch, who pray, who seek the wisdom of God will recognize His purpose and find themselves strengthened and protected. Awareness is the difference between being caught in the storm and standing firm in the midst of it. It is the difference between confusion and clarity, between despair and hope. To be aware is to recognize that God is still sovereign, that His eyes are upon the earth, and that He is moving according to His will. Even when the world seems chaotic and directionless, God's purposes cannot be thwarted. The call to awareness is a call to align yourself with His plan, to attune your spirit to His voice, and to live with the understanding that every event is a part of His unfolding story. When God speaks of what will happen in 3 days, He is calling His people to recognize the pattern, to see the signs, and to prepare their hearts. Awareness opens the door to wisdom, to protection, and to a deeper connection with the Almighty. It is the light that illuminates the path in a darkening world. But beware, for awareness is not passive. It requires vigilance, prayer, and a willingness to act according to what God reveals. To see without obedience is meaningless. To perceive without response is empty. God calls His people to awareness so that they may respond rightly, to walk in faith, and to stand ready. Those who heed this call will find themselves strengthened to face the challenges ahead. They will see with clarity, understand with wisdom, and move with purpose as the divine plan unfolds. Those who ignore the call will be caught unaware, unprepared, and unable to withstand the trials that are coming. The 3-day warning is a reminder that awareness must be immediate and deliberate. The time to act is now. The moment to wake from slumber is now, and the opportunity to attune your heart to the voice of God is now. Watch for the signs, seek understanding, pray without ceasing, and allow God to open your eyes. For in these days, awareness is more than knowledge. It is protection. It is guidance. It is the key to standing firm when the world is shaken. The God of heaven has spoken. His call to awareness is urgent. The days are short, the hour is near, and the time to perceive His hand is upon us. The hand of God moves in ways that are often hidden from human eyes, and yet when He acts, the world feels the ripple of His power. In the unfolding of His plan, a separation occurs, a separation between those who are prepared and those who are unprepared, between those who heed His warnings and those who ignore them. This is not a matter of chance, nor is it a matter of mere human effort. It is a matter of alignment with the divine will, a matter of listening to the voice of God, and a matter of responding in faith. In these 3 days, this separation will become evident, for what is coming will reveal the readiness of hearts and the discernment of souls. The prepared are those who have listened to the warnings of God, who have sought His guidance, who have walked in obedience, and whose hearts are attuned to His voice. They are not perfect, nor are they without struggle, but they are vigilant, aware, and responsive. When the events of these days unfold, they will recognize the movement of God, they will find protection in His timing, and they will move with confidence amidst the chaos. Their preparedness is not merely physical or worldly, it is spiritual. It is a readiness of the soul, a sensitivity to the Spirit, a willingness to act upon what God has spoken. The prepared will be guided, sustained, and preserved, for God's hand rests upon those who seek Him diligently. But the unprepared walk differently. They are unaware, distracted, and indifferent to the warnings that God has sent. They may see the events, they may feel the shaking, but they will not perceive the meaning. They will be caught off guard, shaken by what they cannot understand, and vulnerable to the consequences that follow. The separation is not intended to punish arbitrarily. It is a reflection of the choices that have been made, of the attention given to the voice of God, and of the alignment or misalignment of the heart with His purposes. In the days to come, the difference between those who are prepared and those who are not will become unmistakably clear as the events unfold according to divine timing. This separation is a call, a warning, and an invitation all at once. It calls for vigilance, it warns of the consequences of neglect, and it invites the unprepared to turn, to awaken, and to align themselves with God's plan. Even now, there is time to move from unpreparedness to preparedness, from confusion to clarity, from fear to faith. The 3-day warning is a window of opportunity, a chance to respond to the voice of God and to take steps that will place the soul on the path of protection and purpose. It is a reminder that God's mercy is still available, but it requires action, discernment, and obedience. In these days, watch closely, pray fervently, and position yourself spiritually. Recognize that the separation is real, that the events will expose who is ready and who is not, and that the choices made now will determine your experience when God moves. The prepared will stand firm, guided by His Spirit and preserved by His hand. The unprepared will falter, left to navigate the consequences of their inattention. This is the divine order, the pattern of God's justice and mercy intertwined, and the lesson is clear. Preparation is everything. Readiness is vital, and the call of God must be answered without delay. The world may not see the separation, and many will dismiss it as coincidence or chance, but God sees all, and His hand will reveal the distinction. In 3 days, the events will unfold, the lines will be drawn, and the faithful will witness the truth of God's word in a profound and undeniable way. Prepare your heart, sharpen your awareness, and stand ready, for the separation of the prepared and unprepared is not just coming, it is already here in God's sight, and the days ahead will make it unmistakably clear. There is a rhythm to the universe, a pattern to the unfolding of history, and at the center of it all is the sovereign hand of God. He rules over the nations, He governs the events of the earth, and His timing is flawless. The 3-day warning is not random, it is not accidental, and it is not something that happens without purpose. It is a demonstration of God's perfect timing, a reminder that everything, from the smallest detail to the largest upheaval, moves according to His divine will. When God speaks, the heavens listen, the earth obeys, and the hearts of men are stirred. The timing of what will happen in 3 days is no coincidence. It is the orchestration of a God who is in control, even when the world seems chaotic. Too often, people look at events and think they are the product of chance, of human error, or of natural forces alone. But God's sovereignty is not limited to what we see. His plans reach across generations, His purposes stretch through history, and His wisdom surpasses the understanding of men. Every warning, every sign, every prophetic word has its place in His grand design. The unfolding of events in 3 days is part of this divine pattern, a precise moment chosen by God to reveal His authority, His justice, and His mercy. When the timing is right, He moves, and the results are unmistakable. Those who recognize His sovereignty will understand that nothing happens outside of His will, and that every event, no matter how confusing it seems, has a purpose. The world is impatient. People rush, they demand answers, they try to force outcomes, and they struggle against the natural flow of time. But God is not constrained by human impatience. His timing is perfect, and He will move according to His plan. The 3-day warning is a call to trust in His timing, to recognize that even when events seem sudden or unexpected, they are part of a larger design. Those who align themselves with His timing will find peace, clarity, and protection. They will understand that what unfolds is not random but divinely orchestrated, and they will be able to stand firm amidst uncertainty. Sovereignty is also a call to humility. When God moves in His perfect timing, it reminds us that we are not in control, that our understanding is limited, and that our perspective is small compared to the wisdom of the Almighty. The 3-day warning is a moment to step back, to acknowledge His authority, and to place our trust in Him. The God who set the stars in their places, who governs the seas and the seasons, and who sees the end from the beginning, is the same God who watches over the events that are about to unfold. His sovereignty ensures that everything will happen according to His plan, and His timing guarantees that it will happen at the precise moment intended. Faith is required to embrace this truth. Faith in God's timing, faith in His sovereignty, and faith that even when the world seems uncertain, He is in control. To trust His timing is to surrender our need for control, to walk in obedience, and to recognize that His hand is guiding the course of events. The 3-day warning is a reminder that God's plan is moving forward, that His timing is flawless, and that nothing can thwart His purposes. Those who understand this will watch with eyes of faith, pray with hearts of obedience, and prepare with confidence, knowing that God is in control. The world may tremble, chaos may rise, but the hand of the sovereign God is steady, and His timing is perfect. Faith is not a passive force. It is not simply belief in the unseen. It is action born of trust, obedience, and understanding that God is at work even when the world seems uncertain. In these 3 days, God is calling His people to act, not with hesitation, not with doubt, but with unwavering faith. He has spoken a warning, He has set a timeline, and now He invites you to step into His purposes with courage and conviction. To act in faith is to move beyond fear, to rise above confusion, and to stand firm on the foundation of God's promises. The 3 days are a call to readiness, and readiness is rooted in faith. Without it, the soul is vulnerable. With it, the believer stands unshakable amidst the storms of life. Acting in faith requires preparation of the heart. It requires aligning your thoughts, intentions, and actions with the will of God. This is not a time for hesitation, procrastination, or complacency. God is calling for decisiveness, a deliberate choice to trust Him fully and to move according to His word. Prayer becomes a lifeline, seeking His guidance, His protection, and His wisdom. Obedience becomes the expression of faith, demonstrating that the heart is not only willing to hear, but ready to act. In these 3 days, those who act in faith will find that doors open, paths are made clear, and the hand of God guides every step. This is the power of faith. It transforms uncertainty into direction, fear into courage, and hesitation into action. Faith also carries a protective power. The prepared heart, the obedient soul, and the watchful spirit are shielded by God's hand. Those who act in faith are not immune to challenges, trials, or testing, but they are equipped to endure. The 3-day warning is not merely a countdown. It is an opportunity to position oneself under the protection of God's providence. The believer who steps forward in faith will find sustenance, guidance, and clarity that cannot be found in the wisdom of men or the counsel of the world. The act of faith opens a channel through which God's power flows, through which His mercy operates, and through which His plan is revealed in ways that are both tangible and transformative. Moreover, acting in faith is a testimony. It is a demonstration to the world, to the heavens, and even to your own soul that God is sovereign and His words are true. Faith is contagious. It inspires, it strengthens, and it awakens others to the reality of God's presence. In the midst of uncertainty, those who act in faith become beacons of light, guiding others toward awareness, preparation, and trust. The 3 days are an invitation not only to personal readiness, but also to influence, to intercede, and to lead by example. Faith moves mountains, and in these days it will move hearts, awaken minds, and draw the attention of God's hand upon the faithful. The call is urgent. Time is short and the window of opportunity is narrow. God has spoken. He has revealed His plan. The 3 days are a test, a trial, and a divine summons to step into His purpose with courage. To act in faith is to align your life with His word, to obey His commands, and to trust that His timing is perfect. Hesitation has no place. Doubt has no footing. The faithful are called to rise, to prepare, to watch, to pray, and to act. In doing so, they will witness the fulfillment of God's word, experience His protection, and walk in the assurance that the hand of God is guiding every moment of these critical days. Faith is not optional. It is the key to standing firm when the world trembles, the light that illuminates the path when darkness rises, and the anchor that secures the soul when the storms of life surge. Act in faith, for the days ahead demand nothing less than complete trust in the Almighty. God is a God of revelation, and He is a God of judgment. These two aspects of His nature are inseparable, for what He reveals carries weight, and what He uncovers demands response. In the 3 days He has spoken of, there will be a revelation unlike any other, a lifting of the veil, a shining of light into hidden places, and an unveiling of truth that many have ignored, denied, or failed to perceive. The events that will unfold are not random or without purpose. They are the manifestation of divine wisdom and divine justice. God's revelation exposes what is true, what is righteous, and what is corrupt, and in doing so, it separates the faithful from the unfaithful, the prepared from the unprepared, and those who listen to His voice from those who turn away. Revelation is never neutral. When God unveils a truth, it demands a response. To witness His work is to be confronted with the reality of His authority and the seriousness of His word. In these 3 days, hearts will be tested, eyes will be opened, and souls will be forced to confront what has been hidden. Some will rejoice, for the revelation will bring clarity, guidance, and understanding of God's purposes. Others will stumble, for the truth will expose error, sin, and negligence. The revelation itself is a judgment, for it uncovers what has been ignored, and with the uncovering comes responsibility. God does not reveal lightly. Every act of divine disclosure carries weight, and those who encounter it must respond with faith, humility, and obedience. Judgment is part of this unfolding, not as vengeance, but as correction, and as the natural consequence of choices made. God's hand is patient, but it is also righteous, and when the time comes, the scales of justice will tip according to His perfect wisdom. In these 3 days, judgment will not necessarily be visible to all, but it will be real and it will be effective. For some, it will serve as a wake-up call, a call to turn from complacency and heed the warnings that have been given. For others, it may bring shaking, testing, or the removal of that which is unstable. Judgment, like revelation, is meant to awaken, to correct, and to align the hearts of men with the purposes of God. It is not arbitrary, it is measured, precise, and purposeful. The combination of revelation and judgment is also a call to discernment. Those who are spiritually awake, who watch and pray, will recognize the signs, understand the meaning of events, and find refuge in God's mercy.